Gigi from Shaw's posted on Instagram, okay, on a picture of Brittany where her new boyfriend was hugging her. They were away in Mexico. And Gigi says, no shade, but is she pregnant? He's holding her belly, and the belly is definitely bellying. Okay, what an asshole. So there's that. Of course, Kristen took to her Instagram and came to Brittany's defense. Zach made a comment that said, I thought about not responding because I don't usually respond to trolls, but you're a troll who should know better. No shade, but your horrible personality is on display. Your body shaming. Brittany's people supported her. Gigi turned around and shared DMs between her and Kristen. And like the DMs, Gigi is verbally threatening Kristen, like pretty bad. Welcome to Cocktails and Gossip, the podcast where we drink cocktails, but you better believe we're going to spill the tea. We chat reality TV, celebrity blinds, and the hottest tea from BravoandCocktails.com. And as always, it's all alleged and just for fun. We do not verify our blinds. I'm B.
And I'm Amanda. Let's get into this week's tea.
What's up, cocktailers? Hello, Amanda.
Hello, B. Hi, cocktailers. Okay, so B, coming in hot off of your tropical vacation. How is Parenting Olympics? Back to school.
You know, the thing about it is,
Oh, here we go.
book a vacation, a 10-day vacation for the end of August. You should be a person who's organized and not me, because it's just been. And like everyone's back to school. We got new schools in the mix. We got, well, every year, God willing, there's a new grade. So yeah, I am from pillar to post. Have you ever heard that expression? Pillar to post?
I have, but I don't know what it means.
I feel like you're just like all over the place, like from pillar to post. Like you just, yeah. And like, of course, the sports are like all ramped back up.
It all hits at once.
And we know as parents, like every year, it's like, I want to try this. You're like, perfect. It should be no trouble to squeeze in volleyball and debate team on top of everything else you've already committed to.
And then the gall of these children to expect dinner at the end of the day every day. I'm tired.
I just came in and I was like, hey, can we go out to just get something? Like, it doesn't have to be fancy. I don't care. A slice of pizza, because I don't have the bandwidth after this week.
Yeah.
And it's my husband's right there with me. He's like, I have a few calls left. And then, yes, and can it be somewhere that has a glass of wine? I'm like, perfect.
Y'all.
And it's not Friday yet.
Yeah. Okay. So we got some really hot tea to share here in a second. But first, I wanted to know if you haven't watched it yet, or if you have, this documentary, it just came out over the weekend on Netflix called Unknown Number, the high school catfish on Netflix. It's like an hour and a half. So it's not one of the like usual like part 4, part 5 documentaries. It is quite shocking. And I will say, don't Google it before you watch it. It's about a young teenage girl getting cyberbullied. And the story is, it's truly shocking. Have you seen it?
I have, and I was going to write it because you guys know we make notes. And I was like, oh, I didn't even message her like that. I watched it to discuss it, so I'm happy you put it in. It's disturbing. I'll just say that without giving anything away. Shocking. I'm sure all of you guys have friends on social media that are posting how crazy it is, which is what was happening to me in real life. I'm like, oh, let me check this out. I also watched Amy Bradley. Did you watch that one about the girl?
No. I've heard about it. Yeah, I haven't watched it.
That's another one, and it's like unsolved, which I should just not watch them because it could really drive you crazy, because you listen to one person and you kind of become convinced it's one thing, and then you listen to the next person and like other details come out and you're convinced it's another thing, and it's creepy, and it makes me never want to go on a cruise.
Yeah. I listened to Heather McDonald's podcast about it, and so I kind of know about it. Yeah, it makes me feel the same way. That reminds me too, as you guys know, our cocktail Zooms, like nothing leaves them, except I will say this. Multiple cocktailers on the Zoom were saying we need to watch the show about the Nader sisters, Love by Nader.
I'm gonna get started this week. Do you want to?
Yeah,
And
me
then
too.
we'll chat about it next week. So guys, watch because Bravo is a little late, so I feel like we have space for that right now.
And everything happens on Thursday nights right now, which is like very frustrating. I like to have a little Bravo to watch on a Tuesday night. And now that McBee Dynasty is over, that was on
Which
Mondays.
we have to discuss this
We
last
will.
week's episode.
We will.
But first, we got legit podcast gods in my inbox as I opened up the link to record with Amanda. We got some steaming hot tea from Atlanta Filming.
Yay. Do you want to read it?
Yeah.
Or I'll read it. I can read it. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just literally 10 minutes before we jumped on to record, we got this email. And it says, filming is about, this is about Real Housewives of Atlanta season 17. Filming is about 3 weeks underway with Portia, Phaedra, Drew, Shamia, Angela, and Kelly being joined by restaurateur Pinky Cole and Love and Hip Hop Atlanta alum K. Michelle. Cynthia Bailey is returning as a friend, while another former Love and Hip Hop Atlanta star, Tammy Rivera, will make a handful of guest appearances.
Tammy Rivera was married to Waka Flocka. I think they're split up. Okay. He's a rapper.
It hopes to have your... I did not watch this show. So.
I'm the hip-hop head of the
Yes,
couple.
You are.
Yeah, they divorced in 2022. Which is... Yeah, I'm the hip-hop head. They were a really cute couple on Love and Hip Hop. I mean, there's probably a lot of drama, I'm sure, because everybody on that show is drama, but I liked them together.
Okay, and it says, so far the drama is simmering more than boiling. Portia's fallout with Shamia after the season 16 reunion is still unresolved, with Kelly backing Shamia. Meanwhile, Angela and Drew have traded jabs with K. Michelle, who is already stirring up some conversation. The first cast trip is to Dallas, Texas, hosted by K. Michelle, who is leaning into her country music side.
Love that. She has a beautiful voice.
Okay. Interesting. From Love and Hip Hop to country. I mean, Beyonce can do it.
Right?
Okay. Behind the scenes, there's an ongoing pass the peach situation between Kelly, Pinky, and K. Michelle. We're told that Pinky has stayed out of the group drama so far, but she's dealing with an ongoing tax situation. Producers were also eager to bring in a married entrepreneur, which made her an appealing addition to the cast. Even if K. Michelle doesn't end up as a full-time housewife, she's already benefiting from strong screen time and a favorable edit thanks to her celebrity status. And then it says, so this is a hint, it says, as I previously mentioned, one of the events thus far was Kelly's restaurant opening, which has been filmed, and all the ladies, including Tammy, but minus Portia, attended.
Okay, first things first, I'm going to take this as confirmation. We knew K. Michelle was filming. I've seen her with the ladies, and while there is crossover in Atlanta, she was spotted with multiple ladies we know are on the cast. Yeah. K. Michelle is in. Tammy Rivera is a big personality as well. I'm interested to see her without Waka Flocka. So she had a daughter from a previous relationship, and I'm not sure if Waka Flocka legally adopted her, but he definitely was her father figure. And Tammy was pretty close with his mom. So I'm interested to see what that's like in what way they're still involved. You know,
her family life looks like now. Yeah.
I just look at this and I'm like, you got Portia, you got Phaedra, you got Angela, you got Kelly. Now you have Pinky Cole, K. Michelle, and Tammy Rivera. Why is Drew still here?
I mean, I ask that question all the time. Although she did start to grow on me the tiniest bit, but mostly not.
She must work for biscuits. I mean, because nothing else makes sense except if she doesn't command a high salary.
That would actually make sense. So wait, were K. Michelle and Tammy, were they on the show at the same time? Were they friends or no?
Do you remember? I have to be honest with you. I really don't remember. We're going back, got to be 8 years, if not more. So I don't remember. But
so also guys, a couple of other things. So Cynthia Bailey returning as a friend of, which we had also shared through this amazing source. Kelly backing Shamia completely makes sense. Angela and Drew still in alliance, trading jabs with K. Michelle. I mean, all of that
K. Michelle has a huge mouth, and I am certain she is using it.
I think it's going to be good.
I also just can't imagine how K. Michelle, because she's such a name, doesn't become a full-time housewife. That part doesn't add up to me unless they want to pay her as a friend. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In which case, I feel like she's the sort of person who's going to be like, okay, then I'll film as a friend. Like, I don't think there's anything desperate about her. But Housewives is a huge platform. And Love and Hip Hop, although it's very popular, I think the coolest thing about a crossover is there are people like me who watch both, but not that I don't currently watch, but that's just because like now I'm so with the Bravo. I feel like if I didn't have this pod, I probably, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
I just feel like for K. Michelle to get an entirely different audience, especially she's going into a different genre of music, it makes so much sense for her to get her name out there. Because there's women like you and many of our listeners who have probably heard her name. Like it's a name where they're like, yeah, I've definitely heard that name, but don't really know her.
Just like Pinky Cole, I know I've heard that name too. So
right.
You guys, usually I would go on and research this and figure out who these people are just to give a little more context for people like me who don't know who they are, which we will do that.
I feel like Pinky Cole has been in emails over the years.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, she's the slutty vegan.
Oh,
yes. Yes.
That makes sense.
Oh, she's pretty young. She's born in 1987, which not that that's so young, but like for a housewife, 37 is on the younger side.
Definitely.
Speaking of Love and Hip Hop, I would be remiss if I did not say and give a huge thank you to Cardi B, because back to school is what it is, and we all know. And the stress and your children's anxiety and worrying about them, even if they're excited and happy, we're worried and all of that. And there's Cardi, who is cracking me up. She is so smart. I know I discussed it on the Zoom.
Yeah.
I have always said this, and it's my favorite. I have two favorite music genres, hip hop and country. And people are always like, B, those are two totally different types of music. And they're really not, because they both are very much storytelling.
Story driven, yeah.
And with hip hop, because of the speed of it, it's so smart. Like rappers are highly intelligent people with, especially when it comes to linguistics and vocabulary and like English language arts. Like you have to really be a wordsmith to be a good hip hop artist. So watching Cardi on the stand, like a lot of people were commenting like, oh my God, I didn't realize she was so bright. And it's like, yeah, but if you ever look at how these songs are written, if you look at Jay-Z or Nas or Jadakiss or any of these rappers, Nicki Minaj, they have to be really smart. Like they're quick, they're fast. And especially if you go back and like, I was always into like rap battles and all that. Like they come up with this stuff right off the top of their heads a lot of time. So I loved it. I loved when she didn't want to say the girl was fat. And she was like, I didn't call her fat. And then she was just like making a face with like wide eyes. And she was like, she's security big. And the lawyer's like, what does that mean? And she says she looks like she could protect a building. So you know how all the preteens say big back? Do they say that by you?
No, but they say all kinds of other stuff I'm still figuring out.
I'm like, Cardi just coined a word that we're going to hear our kids say, which is security big.
Oh my
security
God.
Heavy.
God bless her. She is a walking meme.
Yeah.
Like I literally every time I would open up and see the latest updates, just so good for a laugh. If you guys haven't had a chance to, and I know you posted some of it, B, but she's funny. She's real funny. I couldn't agree more.
Cracks me up.
So a lot has been going on this week. So we alluded to it on last week's pod that we found out that Karen Huger was getting released from prison. So she got released on Tuesday, the day after Labor Day. We received and shared an email that said she'd be filming when she gets out. And sure enough, Bravo cameras were there filming her, and we could see the telltale cameras mounted inside the SUV as she left prison and like rolled her window down and waved.
What we're hearing moving forward, Karen won't be allowed behind the wheel of a car for a year. She'll also serve 5 years of supervised probation upon release with an interlock device required once she's cleared to drive again. If there aren't any violations, probation will switch to unsupervised after 3 years. That all sounds pretty standard. As a matter of fact, just the year of driving actually seems on the low end. A follower, a cocktailer, sent me an email, a picture of Ray, like just standing outside. I don't know if you saw it. I shared it to my stories.
In his front yard.
Yeah, and it was like sad. First of all, he looked like much older.
He did. He looked a little disheveled.
Yeah. It made me feel really sad. So, if nothing else, I'm happy for his sake that she's home. You know, the reactions to Karen filming are mixed. My feeling, listen, all the other DUI gals, Gina, Shannon, why should Karen be any different? I get it. It is her fourth DUI. But, and we've said this before, to me, somebody like Jen Shah, who stole from elderly and is despicable. Drunk driving is, of course, despicable. You guys know where Amanda and I stand on that. But this is reality television, and we are looking at flawed people. There are very few Dr. Nicoles in our world. Most people are more of like a little bit of both. One thing for me is like, I kind of want Karen to have to face the music on camera. She did lie to us all last year. So, like, let the ladies call her out. Let us watch her have to eat her words and be forced to give some real answers. She'll try to gloss it over, but I have a good feeling that some of them won't let her off so easy, especially because of that email that we got. So I want to get your opinion on her filming, and then obviously we'll share that email, which was cocktail.
Yeah, like you said, we've talked about how we feel about DUIs. It is despicable. I do think, though, when it comes to the show, the real nail in the coffin was the flat out lie to Housewives, and she lied to all of us as viewers. And she is a really good liar because she, I think, had all of us going. And here's the thing that I am wondering about her: is she gonna get like a personality transplant? Because I don't think she can come in with that grand dame act. Like, it's not gonna fly. So she's got to be humble. She's got to express sorrow for her crimes. She's got to explain why she lied. I just don't think she can ever go back to the way she has been, which is what tells me, which is why she kind of continued to lie. So she could be one more year as a grand dame. I was chatting with some cocktailers about it on Discord, and I said, you know, ultimately, guys, like, we can vote with our remotes. We don't have to watch her, even if Bravo does decide to platform her.
Yeah.
So
I don't see her changing all that much.
Then how make it make sense to me? Make it make sense.
Right.
I would be open to seeing a humble Karen, but more of this I'm better than you because I'm the grand dame thing. Like, I don't see it. Okay, here's the email. It says, not everyone is happy. Not all the Potomac ladies are excited for Karen's return, and some are very annoyed that she is getting her return filmed. How will it affect their status if she's back next season is what they're wondering. Will they be let go? Claws are coming out.
So, like, my mind is like, I think Wendy is certainly somebody they could be talking about. Not so much the let go part as not happy about it. Maybe the new girls. I can see that there's people that are unhappy.
Yeah, I think so too. I think I can see, well, I definitely can see Wendy. I think she has a right still to feel angry at Karen. I could see Stacy being like, why are you guys giving me so much trouble about stupid TJ when this person actually went to jail, lied to all of us about it, saying that she would be exonerated? And why are you guys giving me such a hard time? I mean, I could see that position as well. So we'll see. Okay, grab your tinfoil hats. I have a conspiracy theory for you guys.
Ooh, I'm ready.
So I think most of us will have seen at this point that Teresa Giudice and her husband Louis are on the cover of a magazine called Miami Vibes. It's been all over social media. People had been pointing out like some of the way that the pictures had been photoshopped, whatever. I honestly think the images maybe they look a little retouched, but I think they look really great. But I dug into it a little bit because I was trying to understand like why are they on the cover of a Miami magazine? I know a lot of New Yorkers and Jerseyans. Is that a word? What do
It can be for us.
what do we call people who live in Jersey? New Jerseyans?
I guess.
Somebody tell us. Well, I mean, people think you live there, so why don't you tell us?
I think they're just like, oh, they're from Jersey.
Okay. So a lot of people have second homes in Miami, but I don't think they do. I feel like we would have seen it on the show if so. So I was curious. I actually went to the article. The title of the article is Hispanic Roots Jersey Pride, a Miami Heritage
Quick
Celebration.
question.
Yes.
It is not a Hispanic culture magazine. It is just a Miami magazine.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
Miami magazine.
But they're highlighting their Louis.
Hispanic, yes.
Louis is Hispanic. Teresa is not.
But okay, so it's like it says a Miami Heritage Celebration with Teresa and Louis. So then I was like, wait a second, aren't they Italian? And I did look up. Louis is not. I can link this article in Discord if you guys haven't seen it.
No, Louis is definitely Hispanic. That I know.
So the first line of the article says, when it comes to living life out loud, with love, laughter, and Latin flavor, Teresa Giudice and Louis Ruelas are the definition of La Vibra. This power couple brings more than star power to the table. They bring heart, heritage, and a whole lot of salsa. The music and the food. I'm like, wait, what? Salsa? Like, where's the cannoli? Teresa's so all about it being Italian. And it says, what does Hispanic Heritage Month mean to you personally and as a couple? And then the answer is, it's like a month-long block party for the soul. We see this huge wave of pride seeing our culture front and center on stages, in kitchens, in classroom, everywhere. Wait, I am literally like, wait, what? Why? So here's another one. Are there any family traditions or cultural values that you cherish and continue to pass down? And then the answer is, oh, yes. Food is sacred in our house. Our mom's recipes are basically handwritten heirlooms. From arroz con pollo to empanadas, these dishes are our way of saying, I love you without saying a word. Like, I am pretty sure arroz con pollo is not another way to say lasagna. Ben!
I keep going. Go and then.
Okay, yeah, I need your. Then it says, we are all about using our platforms to lift others up, especially fellow Latinos. And then my personal favorite, how do you teach your children to be proud of their roots and cultural background? And it says, we teach through rhythm and rice.
Rhythm and rice!
Rice the food. From speaking Spanish at home to dancing in the living room and cooking the foods our moms taught us, we keep the culture alive every day. So I want to tell you back to my conspiracy theory, and then I want to just hear your reactions, because this is, I literally, truly very confused. Maybe they just assumed nobody would read the article. But my thought is this. Could Teresa be angling for a switch to Real Housewives of Miami? Because now she is embracing her Latino culture. We know she's very close friends with Alexia. Remember, this current season started out with a call from Alexia to Teresa in the aftermath of Todd filing for divorce. Okay, I need your reaction to all of this.
Okay, so I think it's very interesting. I think it's interesting that, listen, it's absolutely fine for Louis. All of that could and likely is true for him, right? He is Hispanic. I'm sure his mother made empanadas and arroz con pollo. It would have made sense if Teresa incorporated.
Teaches love through rhythm and rice.
Rhythm and rice. And she teaches love through, rhythm and sprinkle cookies. Like, it would have made more sense if it was infused with her culture. I think two things. I think the Miami angle, absolutely. Number one, Miami would be a great place for them because they wouldn't have to worry about state income tax because they don't pay that anyway. So if they move to Florida,
And one of her daughters is in school in Florida.
right, and like a lot of New Yorkers, people from New Jersey, New Jerseyans as you call them, we do move to Florida. Like that's a move we make, and it's very common. You guys know, not only because we have a condo in Florida, but like especially after COVID and even before COVID, a lot of my friends moved to Florida. It's a common move because a lot of our parents retire there and then we end up following them. Okay. So the other thing is New Jersey was always very focused on the Italian culture. So I think by Teresa doing this in a magazine, she's sort of showcasing how her and Louis would fit into a primarily Hispanic cast because her husband is a Latino and would fit in, which, to be fair, like it kind of makes sense. If Bravo had any interest to highlight Teresa with her husband on a housewife show, she could transfer. We saw Taylor do it from Beverly Hills to OC, although it wasn't, some would say it wasn't successful because she only lasted a season. It was because she's from California and it's completely different parts of California. And honestly, I would say that like South Florida is very much almost like an extension of New York, New Jersey. So I don't think Bravo has an interest in filming Louis, filming with Louis, which is why I think she is not being test filming right now. So there's that piece of it. The other piece of it is what we know is that Teresa has been trying to find a restaurant as her and Gia. We don't really know if they want to act like they're the owners, if they want to act like they're learning how to own a restaurant, but it was a Latin fusion place. So it could be, she could have like dual purposes. Like, let me see if I can get on Miami. Let me see if I talk about food, I can get a restaurant show.
I think I know what the show's going to be called.
Rhythm and Rice.
Rhythm and Rice.
I mean, when you were like, so she's like, B, I found this article, like, please don't check the notes after I put it in because I just want you to see. And you asked me, do you think AI wrote this? And I think AI wrote that.
But
like, who would come up with Rhythm and Rice?
I don't think they read it.
Another thing I saw when I did look into this magazine is that, and I don't know if it's all, but you can pay to be in this magazine. Now, I don't know if they paid to be in this magazine. They may showcase some people, and then let's say I wanted to showcase my empanadas. I could pay to have an article written about me. So I'm not saying they paid. I'm just saying that is an option in this. I've also never heard of this magazine, and my condo is very close to Miami. So if it was a large circulation, I would have seen it over the last 20 years.
Also another argument for they're fully trying to go for a city switch, because if they could pay, if they did pay, which we don't know, then they're just trying to promote the move to Miami.
Right. And like I said, if Bravo is interested in filming with Louis, I don't think it's a terrible idea. I think that Teresa could fit in with the Miami ladies because she does have relationships with Alexia, and I assume Marisol via Alexia. Mm-hmm. I could see her getting into it with Adriana. Could you imagine the two of them? I mean, I actually think she'd fit in quite well there.
Yeah, I would definitely watch that show.
Yeah. No, I see it. Yeah, and I think that's got to be the angle. That and or making sense for her. Listen, she has written cookbooks. She always has discussed food. So the restaurant show for her with Gia, to me, isn't far-fetched. The only thing is, Gia's booked and busy. She's got her next gen, which I believe they're filming in the fall. I'm pretty sure that we heard that.
Yeah.
So I don't know when that would be.
Yeah.
I also, and again, I haven't heard that any contracts are signed for Jersey. We absolutely told you about the test filming. We know Melissa, Dolores, and Margaret are involved with the test filming. Personally, do I think it's likely that they offer Teresa a nice check for a few scenes out to lunch with Dolores? I don't see why they wouldn't.
Yeah.
you know that if she's in the promo, people are gonna, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
People are
for
gonna
sure.
tune in. And then it will be, see, we knew she was back, but like, do I think she's back full time where the cameras are gonna be in her home? No, I believe that ship has sailed as far as on New Jersey.
In New Jersey. I agree. I agree. Okay. Well, we want to hear what you guys think about this. We did promise we'd get into McBee Dynasty. So the finale was on Monday. So we saw Jesse and Allie get married. And then we also know that they welcomed a baby girl named Summer in April. I believe the wedding was sometime in October of 2024.
First of all, this show is catching on like wildfire. Like, I feel like every week more of you are asking me about it. More of you are like, oh my God, B, I finally watched an episode and I'm hooked. And a lot of you also said, why didn't she share that she was pregnant? Because based on the timing, she would have been about 3 months. Like, my answer, first of all, most women don't share until they're 3 months, 12 weeks pregnant. But also, I kind of understand. She's been with Jesse for 12 years and she probably was excited. The wedding was gorgeous, a beautiful venue. I loved her dress. She probably didn't want the pregnancy to overshadow her wedding. What do you think about that?
I think so. And I do think that people, I've had a corporate career and mentored I had both of my children while I was working and like for other people and mentored other women. And I was like, you don't have to tell anybody, that you're pregnant until you're ready. Like, you don't have to tell them or like anybody early. You don't have to tell HR right at, when you're 3 months. Like, that is their personal choice. And I completely understand too, where if she had been, waiting to marry him for so long, she wouldn't want a pregnancy to overshadow her whole experience as being a bride. So
Yeah.
I wasn't, and I knew because I actually didn't know that she had had a baby. But when we had Steven on the show, oh, my dad is, so happy about the grandbabies. And I was like, wait, grandbabies? And then I looked it up and I was like, oh, they did. They had a baby in April and had done the mental math and had kind of figured that. So
I actually love that it's two little girls that are so close in age. I think it's wonderful for the family.
I agree.
Something I struck me, and again, this is the close-knit Italian part of me, but I Allie had, I don't know, 5, 6 bridesmaids, and Casey wasn't one of them. And her and Casey, am I saying her name right? Yes.
Yeah.
Cole's girlfriend, are very close on the show. So I'm like, did I miss something? Did like Casey not want to? Because I know I have had friends who, when they were pregnant, didn't want to be in wedding parties for whatever reason. They were like, you know what? Like, it's a lot. I'm pregnant. I don't want to deal with it. And then I've had some friends who are basically giving birth on the dance floor in their bridesmaid dresses. So it goes either way. So I was thinking maybe that. But do we know why she wasn't a bridesmaid?
It didn't, I didn't even think about it until you brought it up because I think every family is different and I wouldn't expect to be a bridesmaid if my brother-in-law or sister-in-law was getting married. I think maybe I was just distracted by how beautiful Casey looked at that wedding. She looked absolutely gorgeous and was wearing a black dress. And I don't know, I thought it worked really well for her. And who knows, there might have been some other role that she gave a reading or, somehow else was kind of involved at a higher level.
Well, I just want to say I was in both of my sister-in-law's weddings, and I would fully expect to be.
And see, I think that might
like in my family, that would be a thing. Like it would
Yeah.
be a real thing if my brother's wife, regardless, and I am close with my brother's wife, but even if like it would have been an issue, like my parents would have pulled my brother aside and been like, why is your sister not in the wedding?
Yeah.
What happened with Teresa and Melissa, like, and in their case, obviously there was true discord, so I do think
Right.
that's different. But in the case of Allie and Casey, where they very clearly get along very well and they're friendly, even if, like, in real life, let's say like for filming purposes, they spent more time together, but in real life, they don't see each other as much. It's also just like, okay, but you're going to be sister-in-laws. So
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm an only child too.
Casey,
So like,
and if it was an issue, I think Casey would have said something like,
yeah.
they obviously would have shown Casey say to Cole, I can't believe I wasn't asked. So again, they're from Kansas City, a completely different, regionally it's different. It may just be totally different. Maybe all those girls were sisters and cousins of Allie's. I don't know. Maybe there were no friends. Or maybe it was just her friends. And maybe Casey would never plan on having Allie in her wedding, and that's just how they do things there. And it was normal. It just, to
Yeah.
me, it stood out.
Yeah. I mean, I think you have a good point, especially because she did have such a big wedding party. But
Right. That was like it. If she had like a maid of honor,
right.
even if she had like 2 people, I wouldn't think. But like once you're past 2 or 3, I'm like, okay, you're not going to throw Casey in there?
Yeah. I don't know. But
She was getting her hair and makeup done with them.
well, yeah, she did. And that's where I was like, I don't know, maybe, she had another role or maybe she didn't want to be a bridesmaid.
She may have been like, I'm pregnant. I really don't want to have to like wear matching dresses, and I'd rather just like, yeah, that could be.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. But we talked last week about Galena's arrest record, and I wanted to clarify something because this is why I really do try not to Google stuff in the middle of our conversation is because I don't read the whole thing and my ADD, I just move on. So I said last week that she was arrested twice for DUI within 2 weeks, and that is not correct. She was arrested twice in October of 2024. The first one was the accident that we saw on the show. And then the second one was the charge for that accident was not for DUI. It was failure to exercise the highest degree of care, and that was downgraded to a misdemeanor. So I think it like reckless driving, I guess is what that means. And then the second arrest was for trespassing and disturbing the peace at a private residence, where she allegedly entered the home intoxicated, screamed, made threats of bodily harm and death, and resisted being escorted out to the point where she fell on the garage floor and hit her head, leaving a small laceration on her head. I guess the court filing says that she had been in a relationship, quote unquote, had been in a relationship with a resident of the property in the past and expressed her dislike for her ex's current romantic partner. She has since pleaded guilty to that charge. But then, we know, because I read another article, I just couldn't find it, that she did say like, hey, like I did go and raise hell at Steve's house again. I shouldn't have done it, essentially. But back to the car accident that we saw the aftermath of, where the G-Wagon went off the road in the woods. Here's my question. So if she wasn't under the influence, like why wouldn't she take a breathalyzer? Like I really am questioning, did she get off easy because of the show or her connections? It just seemed, I thought, if you refuse to take a breathalyzer, when the police come and pull you over or find you in an accident, whatever, I thought that was an automatic charge of some kind. I thought somebody had told me that means that you automatically get a DUI, but I don't
think that's true. I don't know. I could be wrong. I've thank God I have no personal experience. But
neither.
Here's the thing. I don't think the show had anything to do with it because, as we know, I don't believe production or the show would ever interfere in that way. There's enough ladies with DUIs for us to know that. And nor should they, obviously. If you do something against the law, you should.
Right.
Do I think that once Stephen was made aware and his father was made aware and she was sitting in what I imagine is a small town sheriff's office and they found out that she was related to the McBees and perhaps they were able to sweeten a pot for somebody, do I think it's possible that in a small town in Missouri, right, it would be possible to get off on a lesser charge if you grease the wheel? Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Like, I really do. Like, and I would hope that isn't the case. I also think that it is totally possible that maybe she was not intoxicated, but maybe had wine on her breath. Maybe when she was getting ready, she had a glass. Her nerves were really bad. So while she wasn't technically intoxicated, she didn't want to do the breathalyzer, or truly was just having a panic attack. And in that moment, just was like, no, I don't want to do that.
That's actually a really good point, that maybe she did have like a glass and just was worried, because I'm like, why wouldn't she just take it if she knew she wasn't drunk? But that would make sense.
And like everything we've seen from the series, I think it's probably likely that she had a glass while she was getting ready, just because, she likes her cocktails. I don't think she was necessarily drunk. I don't think we'll ever know, because I think that once she was connected to the McBees, I'm sure they have a team of attorneys who could call up. And I think they could get away with something like that there.
Yeah.
Say it like that. I don't think the show had anything to do with it.
Yeah. No, I don't think so either, because I think that the show doesn't get involved unless people are in fighting, in bodily harm, that kind of thing. So
what I will say is I really hope that when we see Galena in season 3, because at the end of the second season, the credits showed that she's moving on. She's starting to date. I understand that she broke up a marriage, so it's not that I have sympathy for her per se, but I do, in the sense that she does have a young adult daughter, and I felt my heart broke for her daughter, and really for Galena too, because she really is like falling apart. Her inability to successfully navigate her life, like that's what we were really watching, whether there was wine involved or whatever it is, like clearly she's spiraling. She needs to remove herself from Steve Sr. The thing for me is she can say she's moving on, but so long as they're still working together, like we've watched how obsessive, I really want to use that word, she is with Steve Sr., I just don't know how she can fully move on if she's still working for him. And again, I understand. The financial aspect. She owns 10% of the company. She can't she can't just walk away. It's obvious this is her livelihood. And now she's on the show. She seems to really enjoy being a reality star. I hope that in season 3, we see her dating someone else. We see her, getting the mental health help that she clearly needs at this time for herself and for her daughter.
Yeah. I mean, if she can't control her behavior, she causes a literal scene at their car wash opening in front of important investors. We know she got arrested again for breaking into the ranch. There's clearly something off, but it would be good to see her do better. Yeah. Especially just for her daughter, because her daughter seems to have a really good head on her shoulders. And when her daughter said, like, they all have each other and they have so many people, but she's like, I only have you. My heart went out to her daughter.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So much so. And I think she's like young 20s, right? Like 21, like, like.
She's in college. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you're an adult legally, but you still very much need the support of your mom.
Parents. Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like she has a relationship with her dad. And Steve Sr. has been in her life a long time and obviously isn't a consistent support. And like, what did you think about Kala just not showing after she told Steven Jr. she would go to the wedding? I was like, and listen, I'm not saying he's perfect in their relationship. I think that relationship, they've both been wrong. Cole on the internet this week with that post he made of I'm coming to get the car, you fucking bitch. Like totally out of line the way that he speaks to and about women, Cole. Mm-hmm. With that said, she could have called Steven before the wedding. Like this is a very important day for Jesse and the family. And to just have him standing around, looking around, and then Galena gets into an accident, like I did feel for him. And I think it was really messed up of Kala.
Yeah. I mean, I think she has a good eye for reality TV drama.
Yeah. Seriously.
Honestly, that is sort of where I was like, I think maybe she was thinking just more about, I think 2 things. I think she was thinking more about herself and how she could make a good exit, because it was a very dramatic, she stands up and rips everything off and grabs her purse and walks out. But I also think nobody really wanted her there except for Steven. Like nobody did. So I think if I'm Kala, like I realize that and I'm like, maybe it's two birds, one stone. Make some drama for the last, for the show, and also save your own face because you know that people don't want you there.
That makes sense. And we got some intel because, of course, everybody wants to know who's paying for the apartment. The McBees claim they are. Kala this week posted saying she pays her own bills. Christy co-signed and then showed Venmo transactions to Christy, which if you're the co-signer, why can't you just pay the lease? So that doesn't make sense. She also blurred out the amount. So she's sending Christy something. It could be $200. Like, we don't know.
Right.
A source close to the McBees shared that Christy did not just co-sign for the 15-month lease in Dallas. She pays in full. This is according to the source, and is still paying to this day, even though Kala is living there with another man. So that boyfriend that Kala posted is allegedly living there. Christy gave her a job at the company, and Kala quit after 3 days because it was too difficult to get to the office every day. Kala also thinks she's entitled to money from Steven since she, quote unquote, had to travel to Missouri all the time, and still hits him up for money all the time. Now, like, if he pays it, that's on him. He also paid for all her plastic surgery. Yeah. Also, the family never even knew Kala had a sister because they were on the outs and hadn't spoken. I mean, it doesn't matter if they knew or not. They should have offered their condolences. So, like,
Right.
I don't know what plastic surgery she's had done. I never saw the show that they met on, whatever that.
Yeah. Joe Millionaire.
So I don't know if because she clearly has breast augmentation. I don't know if she had it then or if he paid for that. Did she get a nose job? I don't know. To me, it just looks like maybe some hair extensions and fillers, but what do I know? We got to get IG famous by Dana on the case for that.
I know. We do. I mean, I am really interested to see. It seemed like Steven, when we had him on the show, left the door open for Kala to be on the show.
And it said at the end of the episode, they still text sometime.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess we'll see.
But wait, there's more.
Steven. Oh, what?
So on one of the cocktailers told me that on, the McBees go live a lot. Yeah. And somebody commented and said, Steve, we think you'd be great with Sally from Southern Charm. And he was like, ooh, I don't know who that is, but I'll look into it. So Craig is doing some fabric event and it's in Missouri and the McBees are coming, nice crossover action. And apparently Steven wrote some comment and Sally commented and said, can't wait to see you in 2 weeks. And Steven said, can't wait to see you either. So let's go.
I do see them together. I see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. I think the only thing is Sally does seem pretty career oriented, and that would be a huge lifestyle change. She kind of has her own thing going, has her house and, a very successful career. But
And Charleston is South, but it would be similar to Kala where like there's South and then there's rural South. And it seems to me like Charleston is a city and they like even from Kansas City, they're far.
I think you said they're an hour and a half outside of the city. But I would love to see that be a hookup, and maybe, who knows? You never know what could happen.
And it seems like a recurring theme. Like Jesse, who met Allie in high school, had that issue where she wanted to be closer to the city. And because of the farm, like for their life, it makes sense for them to live near the farm. So like, these boys need to understand they're going to have to find girls who are okay with living a rural lifestyle. Any girl, because there's a difference between wanting to live in the South in Charleston or Dallas and wanting to live in the South on a farm, an hour and a half from a main city. It's both South, but very clearly different lifestyles.
I mean, imagine being an hour and a half from your closest friends. That would be quite a lifestyle change.
Yes.
Okay, so we've had so much. Should we go to spin-off stuff?
Yes.
Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so Lindsay, we've been talking about Lindsay Hubbard, her spin-off that originally we had the intel that they were going to start, I think, test filming on around the beginning of the month. We are also hearing that Andrea our favorite Italian, and his wife Lexi will also be on the show, as well as some other couples that are not publicly confirmed, getting some different names coming in. So not even sure if they've even let the people know. It sounds like they're still doing the tests filming and interview filming. So the official filming, it sounds like, will be pushed to middle of September.
And so my assumption was that maybe Lindsay was doing pickups with like Andrea and whoever was confirmed, but she is currently on a trip to Mexico with Gabby. So the fact that the source told us it's pushed to mid-September makes sense. She was probably like, you know what? I just filmed all summer and now we're pushed a couple weeks. I'm going to Mexico. How excited are we that Andrea is back?
He is a very, very handsome man.
Very. But like, they're going to have to get people that are a little more exciting. And I love Andrea, but like him married with a wife who, and we don't know his wife. She may be quirky and funny. We just don't know. So I am excited to see them, but I also feel like they'll be like the sweet, calm couple, kind of like the Danny and the Nia of the Valley. Although maybe they'll paint Andrea to be a closet drunk and then we'll have that. The one name that was told to me was Luke's name. And they said, I heard Luke's name, but that's not confirmed. I got to tell you, I told you guys this after Winter House. We're not going to see Luke back on Bravo. And I heard that, like, he's not going to be back on Bravo. So do I think that Lindsay's probably pushing for Luke because they were such good friends and probably are off camera? Yes, Lindsay's a very loyal friend. Good for her. I just don't see it. A lot of you want me to tell you that Danielle's not on the show. I haven't heard her name. So I'm going to assume she's not on the show. I don't think there'll be a big push from Lindsay to get her on the show since Danielle isn't very nice to Lindsay. And I just think knowing Danielle and her thirstiness, she would tease in some capacity if she were coming on anything. So super excited for this spinoff though.
Yeah. So speed round, yes, no's. My thoughts are yes to Andrea and Lexi, no to Luke, because I also just think he's creepy, and no to Danielle for reasons that have already been discussed here on Cocktails and Gossips. But speaking of we've gotten some good sources saying, and you just posted an image today on socials that said the showed cameras are up in the Valley this week. So here's my question for you. Do we know if Brittany's new boyfriend is filming?
Honestly, I haven't even asked, but I'm just going to go ahead and assume. Why wouldn't he? Yeah. I'm sure he's some thirst bucket who's been trying to get famous for a decade, and he's dating a reality star, and they'll offer him spit and he'll show up. I think we said it here that Scheana, Lala, Schwartz are back. We're going to see some drama between Lala and Scheana because Sheena's going on her podcast. And again, I'm sure this is her preparing to have a storyline that isn't solely focused on Brock's affair. But Scheana is pissed. She sent the media package for her book to all of her closest friends. And Lala never posted it. So Scheana texted her and said, hey, did you get my media package? And Lala said yes and posted the book, but just tagged Scheana. Didn't like, oh my God, congratulate. Didn't make a big thing. Didn't do a video of the media package, right? Just kind of gave a lukewarm endorsement. And in turn, Scheana didn't post for Lala's birthday, which was the other day. So is there beef? I'm sure there's beef.
I'm curious what started the beef, because I think Lala's lack of excitement around Sheena's book was her making a statement. So she was mad about something a month ago.
Right.
I do think what I think is interesting is when we have shared the list of who is going to be on the Valley, Lala was a little bit in question. So
yes, that may have had something to do with it.
Maybe there is a little reality TV beef just for TV. Who knows? And I got to say, as much as I agree with your thoughts from a couple weeks ago that maybe Britt should just take some time off dating, not get herself maybe into this messy situation, even if the guy is like nice as pie, I have to say I kind of want to see the mess.
Yeah, same.
And like how everybody reacts to him, what she's like with this new man. And of course, it is going to drive Jax absolutely crazy to see this guy on his show.
Oh,
Like, I honestly, I hope there's some security for Brittany because it's not going to go well.
yeah. And we have some crossover drama. Gigi from Shaw's posted on Instagram, okay, on a picture of Brittany where her new boyfriend was hugging her. They were away in Mexico. And Gigi says, no shade, but is she pregnant? He's holding her belly and the belly is definitely bellying. Okay, what an asshole. So there's that. Of course, Kristen took to her Instagram and came to Brittany's defense. Zach made a comment that said, I thought about not responding because I don't usually respond to trolls, but you're a troll who should know better. No shade, but your horrible personality is on display. Your body shaming. Brittany's people supported her. Gigi turned around and shared DMs between her and Kristen. And like the DMs, Gigi is verbally threatening Kristen, like pretty bad. And I think the Shaw's spinoff is mostly filmed, honestly. I'm confused as to why it's not coming out. I think it's not coming out till spring. But in any event, what is Gigi thinking? Like, you're finally getting a show back on Bravo and I'm not surprised, but stupid.
I've never been a fan of Gigi. I mean, has anybody?
No, I guess she was like good TV at points, but like a
Yeah.
fan, no.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm wondering if the reason there's not a lot of talk about the Shaws, their new Valley show, is is that one of the things they're going to wait and show a preview of at BravoCon? Are they
That's
going
what
to
I
have
think.
that? Yeah, and then they'll have that be the lead in to season 3 of the Valley, because the Valley usually comes out in the summer, right? Or the beginning of the summer. So, or maybe
Yeah, and I think the thinking is like, what's the rush? They've been off for so long, and it's something that will excite people at BravoCon, so that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Yeah. But again, guys, like, women do not owe anybody anything. If they don't want to tell anybody they're pregnant, they don't have to. And Gigi has been pregnant. It's
Right.
what is wrong with her?
And like, just as a side note, Gigi, I believe that Reza said on Jeff Lewis that she's on Ozempic, which doesn't make any. Gigi has always had a really great figure, but just to say that, like, and I know that women that are thin can have body image issues. That's not what I mean. But something rubs me the wrong way about somebody who's never been overweight, or I don't know how I'm wording this, but like, you got Gigi, who's some skinny bitch, like commenting on somebody's weight. It just rubs me wrong. I don't know.
Yeah,
No woman should comment on any woman's body, but like,
precisely.
even more so, I don't know. If you're somebody as Gigi is, who unless she is somebody who has struggled with weight and I don't know it, we've never seen her. It's just very odd to me.
I think too, what it really it's not somebody being like, oh, how many weeks along are you? Like just a terrible mistake, or
even an honest, stupid mistake, like, oh my God, congrats, you're pregnant. Yes. She said, is she pregnant? Because her belly's bellying. Like,
it's like mean. It's just mean. Like, she's doubling down.
The point was to be mean. All right, you guys, we love you.
Enjoy. For those of you who celebrate, enjoy Parenting Olympics.
Yeah. Till next week.
Bye.
What's up, cocktailers? We want to thank you, as always, for listening to Cocktails and Gossip. Because of you, we've hit some amazing milestones, had some hilarious conversations, and have grown a truly amazing community. If you haven't already followed our podcast, hit the follow button in the top right of your Apple Podcast player, the follow button under the show logo on Spotify, or the subscribe button on Google Podcasts. We thrive on you, our audience. So make sure to tell all your gossip-loving friends about us too. And if you want to get all the tea, join our membership cocktail party by going to bravoandcocktails.com/join. Our members get access to the exclusive tea we post, the weekly podcast without ads, plus another additional bonus podcast every week. And of course, Members also get to join us on our monthly live cocktail party Zoom, where we talk about the latest tea and even share tea that's just too hot to put in writing. Last, but maybe best, our members get access to the Cocktail Party Discord, where you can chat with Amanda, me, and all of the other cocktailers as well. There are always some great convos and hilarious comments happening in Discord. Thank you guys so much for listening. We appreciate you.